Hey everyone, it's Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw tonight was from the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I am doing this review as Monday Night Raw is still going on, tapping out of the show because tonight's show is absolutely horrible. Tonight's show is absolutely terrible. This didn't even feel like a Triple H booked Monday Night Raw. It felt like Bruce Pritchard was in charge. And, Triple H last week, he tested positive for COVID, so he wasn't at Monday Night Raw last week. And Road Dogg was running the show. I think Road Dogg was also running SmackDown. Triple H, from what I read today, he is back at Monday Night Raw. But this show tonight has not felt like a Triple H booked Raw. It feels more like Bruce Pritchard booked the show and Vince McMahon in disguise running it. But tonight on Monday Night Raw, we have Finn Balor versus Karl Anderson, R-Truth versus The Miz, Austin Theory versus Mustafa Ali. Omos, of course, was on the show. We had a 4-on-1 handicap match with Omos in it. We went from 2-on-1 handicap matches to now a 4-on-1 handicap match. Are we going to get a 10-on-1 handicap match next week? Omos is just fucking awful. And this disaster of a match at Crown Jewel, where it's going to be him versus Braun Strowman, I'm not looking forward to it. It's going to be a disaster of a fucking match. To tell you the truth, I'm not even looking forward to Crown Jewel. We got that match. And we all got to see Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns, which I hope, I pray to God, I pray to the wrestling gods, that match goes 5 minutes at Crown Jewel. And then we had Elias versus Chad Gable. Baron Corbin was in action, and he took on Johnny Gargano. And now the main event is on right now. It's Bianca Bellaire versus Bayley. So there's the Bianca Bellaire coming out, making her entrance. So once again, we're seeing Bianca Bellaire versus Bayley. But Monday Night Raw, this show is fucking awful. In my opinion, this is the worst Monday Night Raw under Triple H's era. And to perfectly describe Monday Night Raw tonight, this is it. Have Kenan Thompson there just sleeping. That is how I would describe Monday Night Raw tonight. Just absolutely boring, in my opinion. Does not even feel like a Triple H booked Monday Night Raw. But anyways, let's jump right into the review. Monday Night Raw opened up tonight with the Judgment Day. Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and Rhea Ripley. They came out. They made their way down to the ring. Rhea Ripley got on the mic. She ended up saying that last week, AJ Styles found out what Mommy had known all along. And that is the Judgment Day. And that they run Monday Night Raw. We ended up saying that AJ Styles found out was that Dominic Mysterio is all man now. So Finn Balor got on the mic. He ended up saying, in perhaps one of the greatest matches of all time, Styles went one-on-one against Dominic. And the phenomenal Styles crumbled under the pressure against Dominic. To which Damian Priest then got on the mic. He ended up saying that brings them to his favorite part of the night, and that is when everyone rises. So Priest ended up telling the crowd to rise and show respect to the greatest luchador in the history of this business, Dominic Mysterio. And the crowd booed. The greatest luchador in the history of the business. Are you kidding me? Dominic still needs work in the ring. And it's bad enough that he got on the mic again here. Why do they keep putting the mic in Dom's hands? He can't cut a good promo. His promos need work. Whenever Dominic can cut a decent good promo, then you put a mic back in his hands. So Dom got on the mic, and I'm reaching for my remote to mute the TV. I think everybody at home was reaching for their remotes to mute the TV as soon as he opened his mouth. So Dom ended up saying that the Judgment Day are the only ones that ever believed in him. He ended up saying last week he proved all of his haters and doubters wrong when he beat AJ Styles clean in the middle of the ring. And Dom ended up saying that he did it because he is built differently. And they pretty much wrote this for Dom. They had the balls to write this for Dom. And Dom had the balls to say this. He ended up saying that the more he thinks about it, he is this generation's, get a load of this. He called himself this generation's Eddie Guerrero. Yeah, you think you're this generation's Eddie Guerrero. Give me a break. And the crowd end up booing him. Give me a break. Dom calling himself this generation's Eddie Guerrero. We all seen how Dom is in the ring. He needs work. He needs work to be better in the ring and needs work on the mic to deliver a good promo. So Dom ended up saying that Eddie was his generation's Dominic. Really? He ended up saying last week what he did to Styles was just a small taste of what the Judgment Day. And then he got interrupted by the OC. So Styles, Gallows, and Anderson end up coming out. Styles got on the mic. He ended up telling Dom to shut up. He ended up saying that this is Charlotte, North Carolina. And they know good wrestling when they see it. He ended up saying that Dominic is not it. So Styles was like, oh, Dom wants to compare himself to Eddie Guerrero. To which Styles ended up saying to Dom that Dom is this generation's James Ellsworth. Which I laughed at. Yeah, we all remember James Ellsworth. So Gallows ended up saying Jimmy No Chin. And he ended up laughing. And then the OC ended up coming into the ring. So Styles ended up telling Dom there will come a time where he won't be able to hide behind the Judgment Day. To which Balor got on the mic and told Styles that he is the one hiding in the club right now. The club that he started. So Balor ended up saying that ever since Styles left the club and moved on, everyone who came after him is living off his legacy. So Balor ended up saying today, the Judgment Day are in town. Step up and get pinned down. So Karl Anderson ended up telling Balor that it's time to remind everyone why he is the toughest man in the building. So they all end up getting out of the ring, and we had the match. Finn Balor versus Karl Anderson. But this whole opening segment was just very meh, in my opinion. Dominic having the balls to call himself this generation's Eddie Guerrero. Oh my God. And then we had Styles calling Dom this generation's James Ellsworth. Just that was funny. That made me chuckle. But it was just very meh segment. I gotta say, this Monday Night Raw also, it felt like a filler show just to get to Crown Jewel. So then we had the first match, Finn Balor versus Karl Anderson, which this was a good match. And as soon as the bell rang, we had Karl Anderson end up locking in a headlock on Balor. And Balor was being thrown to the ropes. Finn Balor came back, delivered a shoulder tackle to Anderson. Anderson came back, delivered an uppercut to Balor. And Balor went outside the ring. And then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Balor ended up delivering a chop to Anderson's chest in the corner. Balor ended up running towards Anderson. Anderson delivered a kick onto Balor's knee. Anderson then ended up kicking Balor in his left knee several times. Anderson wrapped Balor's left knee in between the second rope and the corner, started kicking away as Balor ended up falling onto the ring apron. Karl Anderson then delivered a dragon screw into the second rope to Balor. Anderson ended up going for the cover, and then Balor kicked out. Anderson then locked in a leg lock on Balor, but Balor started kicking away at Karl Anderson's face. So Balor then delivered a snapmare to Anderson, which he followed up by a right hand to the back of Anderson's head. Balor then locked in a headlock in the middle of the ring on Karl Anderson. Anderson ended up getting up to his feet, but Balor came back and delivered a neckbreaker to Anderson. So Balor ended up going for the cover. Anderson kicked out. Balor then delivered an elbow to Anderson's shoulder and then locked in another headlock. So Balor then ended up throwing Anderson into the corner. Anderson started kicking Balor away. And then he delivered a clothesline to Balor, which Anderson followed up with some spine busters to Balor. Anderson ended up going for the cover. Balor kicked out. So later on in the match, we had Dominic getting on the ring apron. He ended up distracting the referee because Anderson climbed up to the top rope and delivered a superplex to Balor, which was very nice. So Styles then tripped Dominic and he delivered some right hands to Dom. Damian Priest then grabbed Styles, ended up throwing Styles into the barricade, and he then threw Styles over the commentary table. Gallows then ended up coming over. He threw Damian Priest into the barricade. Rhea then ended up pushing Gallows into the ring post. And Rhea scooped Gallows up. And she body slammed him. Yes, Rhea Ripley body slammed Gallows on the floor outside of the ring. To which then Anderson picked Balor up as Dominic got into the ring. Rhea Ripley came in, delivered a low blow to Anderson, and Balor ended up going for the cover. And there you go, Finn Balor ended up winning the match. And then when Rhea Ripley delivered that low blow, the referee was distracted with Dom. So Finn Balor ended up winning the match. Overall, this was a very good match here. Good wrestling from both Balor and Karl Anderson here. And then we saw Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano was backstage and he was carrying a whistle. Might as well be known as Coach Gargano. So the Miz ended up coming up to him. Miz ended up asking Gargano what he knows. Gargano ended up saying that the Miz knows what he knows. All about Dexter Lumis. So Gargano ended up telling Miz to stop lying and tell people the truth. Miz ended up saying that he is not lying, and that Gargano is using his name for clickbait. So Miz ended up saying that he is going down to the ring. So he ended up going out to the ring, and that was pretty much basically that. This whole Miz, Dexter Lumis storyline, I just don't care anymore. 2 months already, and we still have no explanation as to why Dexter Lumis is going after the Miz. Yeah, time to blow the whistle on this whole storyline. Pretty much blow the whistle, throw in the towel. So then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Miz was in the ring, and they had the camera on Dale Earnhardt. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. And Miz ended up saying to get the camera off of him, and that he can beat Dale with his Tesla because Dale is a NASCAR driver, not a huge NASCAR fan. So Miz ended up saying Johnny Gargano was right. He has been keeping a secret. He ended up saying, but first, a lunatic shows up to Raw and gets carried away by security. The very next week, he shows up and kidnaps him. He's referring to, of course, Dexter Lumis. He ended up saying after that, he repeatedly attacks and stalks him, and he finds himself waking up in situations he does not want to talk about. Miz ended up saying that the reason why that lunatic, Dexter Lumis, targeted him was because of his mind. Not some Hannibal Lecter, but his knowledge and resume is unparalleled. He ended up saying that when he chose to give a selfless act and share his expertise with an up-and-coming superstar, he who shall not be named could not stand that he chose Tommaso Ciampa. He ended up saying that he sat at home jobless and thought that Ciampa stole the opportunity he thought he deserves. So he ended up telling everyone if they see Ciampa to let him know. So then Johnny Gargano ended up coming out. Gargano got on the mic. He ended up saying that we all know that is not true. He ended up saying to The Miz that Ciampa is not missing, and that he just texted him a few minutes ago. And he ended up saying that Ciampa is injured, and he ended up calling The Miz a huge liar. So there you go. That is why we haven't seen Ciampa in weeks. Ciampa is injured. So Gargano then got into the ring. He ended up saying to The Miz that if he wants him and Dexter Lumis out of his life, he has to tell the truth, or he knows what is going to happen. Gargano ended up saying that he has a whistle, and he is not afraid to blow it. Pretty much basically blow the whistle and throw in the towel because this storyline with The Miz and Dexter Lumis is going fucking nowhere. So the fans end up cheering Gargano. Miz raised his hand, of course. When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. Miz ended up saying that he has been telling nothing but the truth. And we all knew where this was going. Out came R-Truth. So, R-Truth, he's entertaining. He's funny. So R-Truth came out. He told the crowd to make some noise, with the whole, what's up? So R-Truth ended up getting on the mic. He ended up telling The Miz that he said that he wants to tell the truth and that he is here. So The Miz was all confused. To which Gargano ended up saying that R-Truth is the real truth. Miz ended up asking him if he ate too much crappy Carolina comfort food. To which R-Truth ended up saying that he is not going to talk down on their mac and cheese. So Miz ended up saying maybe he's the idiot for thinking that North Carolina can handle his reasoning. Truth ended up saying that it's one thing to drag him down and not tell him this big secret, but he will not talk down on his hometown's macaroni and cheese. So R-Truth ended up asking the crowd if he should give The Miz a good old-fashioned beating. So The Miz ended up saying that they aren't fighting. Gargano ended up telling him that he knows Dexter deflated his balls, and he didn't know he had none left. Still, we're talking about Miz's balls, Miz's tiny balls, or whatever the fuck. So The Miz ended up saying that he wants truth. Gargano and Truth ended up telling him that he can't handle the truth. And so they ended up jinxing each other. And pretty much that was basically how the segment ended. But this was cringe. This was absolutely terrible. This had Bruce Pritchard written all over it. This felt like a Bruce Pritchard produced segment. But R-Truth, he's funny, he's entertaining. And as I am finishing this segment, the Bayley versus Bianca Bellaire match just ended. Bayley ended up winning the match. We had Nikki ASH come and attack Bayley, so I guess Nikki is back to being a babyface. So there you go. Bayley ended up winning the main event against Bianca Bellaire. Then we had the Miz versus R-Truth. This was very boring. We had the match start off with the Miz attacking R-Truth from behind, started stomping away on him. So Miz was going for a right hand to Truth. Truth blocked it. Truth ended up running to the ropes. Miz moved out of the way, and he ended up kicking Truth in the face. And then Miz ended up kicking the back of Truth's head. So Miz ended up applying a headlock on Truth, but Truth ended up getting to his feet. We had Truth end up delivering elbows to Miz's midsection, followed up with a kick to the Miz's face. R-Truth ended up delivering a shoulder tackle to the Miz, and he slammed Miz onto the mat. Truth ended up going for the 5-knuckle shuffle, but Miz delivered a kick to Truth. Miz ended up saying that he has massive balls. Can we please stop talking about this with Miz's massive balls? Why is this still a thing? And they all think this is funny. So the Miz was looking to the crowd, and someone was wearing a black hoodie and black gloves, to which the Miz ended up thinking that it was Dexter Lumis. So that distracted the Miz. R-Truth ended up rolling the Miz up, and R-Truth ended up getting the win. So there you go. R-Truth ended up winning the match. And the person in the black hoodie and black gloves was Johnny Gargano. It wasn't Dexter Lumis, it was Gargano. And he smiled at the Miz, and that was basically that. Overall, Miz versus R-Truth, this was very, very boring. Absolutely boring match. So then we went backstage. Kathy Kelly was backstage, and she was interviewing Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae ended up saying that she did not know what to expect. One night she was on NXT, the next she is with her husband, Johnny Gargano, expanding their family. And now she is on Raw. LeRae ended up saying that she got support from a lot of the women, like Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and Bianca Belaire. So then the interview got interrupted by Damage Control by Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. So Bayley ended up telling Candice, who cares if she got support from Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Bianca Belaire. So she was like, oh, is Asuka or Alexa Bliss here? And she ended up saying that they put them down, that Damage Control put them on the shelf, like they did to Becky Lynch. So Candice then ended up saying that Io Sky is not trustworthy, and that Dakota Kai is spiteful. And she ended up saying that Bayley is not Raw Women's Champion. Bayley ended up getting up. She ended up saying that she is not the champion yet, but that Candice has no friends here to help her. So Bayley then pushed the cameraman. The cameraman ended up falling, and we heard a lot of yelling going on. Looked like Damage Control was beating up on Candice. And pretty much that was basically that. So then we saw Elias. Elias was walking backstage. He made his return on Monday Night Raw last week. And he ended up seeing Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle was, of course, playing his bongos. Riddle ended up apologizing to Elias for last week. Elias ended up saying to Riddle that he is a serious artist, and the people love to see him perform, and that he has a long history of being interrupted. He ended up saying that he knows him and Ezekiel were close, and he will let what happened last week slide. So in came Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and Otis. Of course, cringy Chad Gable with the shush. And Chad Gable ended up asking Elias and Riddle if they are a band. And if they are, they should be called Blink 180 Shush. Terrible. Absolutely cringe from Chad Gable. So Chad Gable ended up saying that he prefers if Elias would shave his beard and pretend to be his brother. To which Elias ended up saying to Chad Gable that him and Riddle are not a team and that he just got interrupted. So Elias ended up challenging Chad Gable. He ended up telling him to find out why WWE stands for Walk with Elias. He ended up saying Chad Gable eats pieces of crap like him for breakfast. So Riddle ended up saying Chad Gable eats pieces of crap for breakfast. Pretty much that was basically that. Cringe. Very, very corny. Now we had Austin Theory versus Mustafa Ali. This kicked off the second hour of the show. Man, that entire first hour was absolutely dreadful, aside from Karl Anderson versus Finn Balor. So we had Austin Theory versus Mustafa Ali, which was an okay match. So Seth Rollins, he ended up coming out. He was wearing a yellow suit, had glasses on. Everybody, of course, was singing along to his theme music. So the match got underway. Theory ended up pushing Mustafa Ali down. Theory then locked in the headlock on Mustafa Ali as he sent him to the ropes. Theory ended up delivering a shoulder block to Mustafa Ali. Theory ended up delivering some shoulder tackles in the corner to Mustafa Ali, and he was delivering some hands to Mustafa Ali. Theory ended up sending Mustafa Ali to the ropes and delivered a knee to his midsection. Theory ended up going for the cover, and Mustafa Ali kicked out. Theory then ended up throwing Mustafa Ali to the ropes, but Mustafa Ali came back and delivered a Hurricanrana to Theory. Mustafa Ali then delivered a right hand to Theory as he placed Austin Theory on the top rope. Mustafa Ali got on the top rope. Theory ended up pushing Ali down, but Ali ended up landing on his feet. Theory ended up jumping off the top, and Mustafa Ali ended up hitting him with a drop kick, which was cool. Theory ended up rolling to the outside of the ring. Mustafa Ali was on the ring apron, and Theory ended up tripping Ali and slammed Ali face first onto the commentary table. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Austin Theory ended up throwing Mustafa Ali back into the ring. Theory grabbed his cell phone and he ended up taking a selfie on his phone, but Mustafa Ali ended up drop kicking Theory off the ring apron, and Theory ended up going to the outside. Mustafa Ali ended up climbing up to the top rope, and he delivered a 450 splash onto Theory on the outside. Ali ended up throwing Theory back into the ring, and he started delivering some right hands to Theory, and then he delivered a chop to Theory's chest. Mustafa Ali then delivered a kick to Theory's face, to which he followed up with a neck breaker. Ali ended up going for the cover, and Theory ended up kicking out. Mustafa Ali got back up, and he delivered a super kick to Theory. He climbed up to the second rope, and Ali ended up hitting Theory with a jumping DDT, which looked very cool. Ali ended up going for the cover, and Theory ended up kicking out. Mustafa Ali ended up climbing up to the top rope. He ended up jumping off the top rope. Theory ended up moving out of the way, and Ali landed on his feet. Ali ended up going for a DDT, but Theory caught Ali, ended up dropping Ali neck first onto his knee. Theory then ended up lifting Mustafa Ali up. Ali landed on his feet, and Ali ended up hitting Theory with a backstabber. Mustafa Ali climbed up to the top rope, but Seth Rollins got into the ring. Seth Rollins then distracted the referee, to which Theory ended up kicking the top rope, and he ended up hitting Mustafa Ali with the A-Town down. Theory ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Austin Theory ended up winning the match. Post-match, Rollins threw Mustafa Ali to the outside. He ended up throwing Ali over the barricade and into the timekeeper's area. Rollins then ended up throwing Ali into equipment. He ended up telling Mustafa Ali that he doesn't belong in his WWE. And he ended up telling security to throw Mustafa Ali out. Rollins then grabbed his United States Championship and he walked up the ramp. So Ali ended up attacking Rollins. He ended up throwing Rollins into the LED set on the stage, and officials had to break up, Mustafa Ali and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins made his way to the back, and pretty much that was basically that. But overall, it was an okay match between Austin Theory and Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali, did his best in the match. I think Mustafa Ali is, very entertaining. I've always liked his style in the ring. And the guy should be pushed. The guy should, get a big push because he's absolutely entertaining in the ring. And, people enjoy what he has to offer whenever, he's in the match. I know a lot of people will probably be like, oh, well, that ship has sailed of WWE giving a big push to Mustafa Ali, when they should have gave him a push 2 or 3 years ago. If Mustafa Ali wasn't a part of Retribution, he would have gotten that big push. But Mustafa Ali, he's entertaining in the ring. He deserves a lot better, in my opinion. And then we saw Johnny Gargano backstage. Johnny Gargano was walking, and in came the Miz. Gargano was like, oh, I got to go check on Candice because of probably Candice getting beaten up by Damage Control earlier. So the Miz approached Johnny Gargano, ended up saying that Gargano deceived him. So the Miz ended up walking off, and then Gargano ran into JBL and Baron Corbin. JBL, Mago! Go! So JBL ended up telling Gargano that when he walks and sees a Hall of Famer, he stops and respects him. He ended up telling Gargano that if this was the Attitude Era, Gargano would be carrying his bags. To which Johnny Gargano ended up saying to JBL that he was 8 years old during the Attitude Era. So Gargano then shook JBL's hand, ended up telling him he has nice MC Hammer pants. So then Gargano looked at Baron Corbin. He ended up asking what his name is, if it's Happy or King. So JBL ended up telling Gargano that the modern day wrestling god will beat him up tonight. So that was that. Baron Corbin made his return to Monday Night Raw last week. JBL is calling him a modern day wrestling god. Corbin is not a wrestling god, in my opinion. Do you see Baron Corbin being a modern day wrestling god? I'm like, really? Boy, does Monday Night Raw tonight get any better? No. Look at what we had next. Omos versus 4 local jobbers. A 4-on-1 handicap match where Omos is just destroying the hell out of these 4 local jobbers. To which, before the match got underway, MVP was on the mic. And he was looking at the 4 guys that were in the ring. He ended up asking them if that happened to Braun Strowman and what chances do they have tonight. MVP ended up saying that Omos has a fist like a Christmas ham. To which Omos ended up putting his hand on one of the local jobbers. He ended up telling them that he respects their ambition and he applauds their courage. He ended up asking them if they have a good health insurance plan. He ended up telling Strowman at the Crown Jewel there will only be one monster, in WWE. And that will be Omos. And then the match got underway. Who cares? Omos ended up winning, destroyed these 4 local jobbers. So we go from 2-on-1 handicap matches with Omos to a 4-on-1 handicap match. You might as well make next week on Monday Night Raw a 10-on-1 handicap match. Get 10 local jobbers in the ring and have Omos destroy them all. Awful. Why is Omos on TV? Omos is absolutely terrible in the ring. And this match at Crown Jewel between him and Braun Strowman is going to be a fucking disaster. Who wants to see Omos versus Braun Strowman? I know I don't. And I know a lot of you probably don't either. Well, I got to bring up another thing. Who is looking forward to seeing Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns? I know I'm not looking forward to it. I pray to God. I said it earlier. I pray to the wrestling gods that match goes 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Roman Reigns lays out Logan Paul. But Omos ended up winning. Moving on. Chad Gable versus Elias. This match was meh, in my opinion. Chad Gable and Elias end up approaching each other. Chad Gable ended up teasing a takedown on Elias. Gable ended up hooking a side headlock on Elias. He started laughing. Gable ended up taking Elias down with a headlock takedown. Elias fought up. He ended up hitting a headlock takedown on Chad Gable. Chad Gable ended up fighting up. He ended up whipping Elias off. Elias ended up hitting the shoulder tackle. And, of course, we had to have them do a chin lock for the match. So Elias ended up applying a chin lock to slow down the match because that's what WWE likes to do nowadays. If they want to slow down the match, apply a chin lock. So Gable ended up fighting up. Elias ended up taking Chad Gable down a few times. And Elias ended up going for a backslide pin. Chad Gable ended up kicking out. Elias fought back with a vertical suplex to Chad Gable. He ended up going for the cover. Gable ended up kicking out at 2. Elias then ended up hitting the ropes. Otis ended up pulling the top rope down, and he knocked Elias out of the ring. Otis then ended up calling Elias a terrible athlete. And then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. And then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Elias was attempting a superplex, but Chad Gable ended up fighting him off. Gable connected with a flying headbutt to Elias, to which he went for the cover, and Elias ended up kicking out. Gable ended up getting Elias to his feet, and Elias ended up asking the crowd, who wants to walk with him? Otis got on the apron to distract Elias. Chad Gable ended up taking him down with an ankle lock, to which Elias countered the ankle lock into a roll-up, to which Chad Gable kicked out at 2. Chad Gable ended up hitting a modified dominator to Elias for a near fall. Chad Gable ended up going up to the top rope to deliver a moonsault, to which he landed on his feet, and Elias ended up kneeing Chad Gable in the face, which that was a cool spot there. You know, Chad Gable doing the moonsault, landing on his feet, and Elias ended up kneeing him in his face anyway. So Elias ended up going for the cover. Gable ended up kicking out. So Elias ended up going to the outside, and he sidestepped Otis, who went into the ring post. Otis ended up going into the ring post. Elias ended up knocking Chad Gable back down, and he ended up hitting the drift away on Chad Gable. And Elias ended up going for the cover. Nego Elias ended up winning the match. And it was shown Elias was bleeding from his head. But post-match, Otis ended up blindsiding Elias. Matt Riddle ended up running down to make the save. Riddle ended up hitting Chad Gable with the bro to sleep. and he ended up getting Otis out of the ring. Riddle then ended up hitting a springboard floating bro, and he took out Chad Gable and Otis. And then he went in to check on Elias, and pretty much that was basically that. But it looks like they're going to be possibly pairing, Elias with Matt Riddle. I think they're going to be a tag team, until, Randy Orton makes his return. So I think that's what WWE is doing. I think they're going to make Riddle and Elias a tag team. So now we saw the OC. AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, Karl Anderson. They were talking backstage. I think they were in the trainer's room. Gallows ended up saying that he's great with women. And he has an idea for Rhea Ripley, because they were just talking about Rhea Ripley. And we had Karl Anderson had an ice pack on his balls because of Rhea Ripley low blowing him. So Gallows ended up going out, I guess, to look and talk to Rhea Ripley. So Styles and Karl Anderson end up agreeing that Gallows is horrible with women. So pretty much that was basically that. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we went back to the trainer's room. Karl Anderson and Styles were still in there. Luke Gallows walked in, and he was holding his groin. Apparently, Rhea Ripley ended up giving Gallows a low blow. So Gallows ended up taking Karl Anderson's ice pack, put it over his balls, and that was that. Now we had JBL in the ring. My God! He ended up saying mediocrity is the norm in Charlotte, and that the football team is 2-5. He ended up saying that they took the greatest of all greatest of all times, and made Michael Jordan a loser. And that they're all going to witness greatness in the modern day wrestling god, Baron Corbin. So that was what Michael JBL had to say. And then we had Baron Corbin versus Johnny Gargano. This was a snooze match here. Match started with Corbin ended up shoving Gargano. Gargano ended up charging away at Corbin, started punching away at him. Gargano ended up rolling Corbin up, and Corbin ended up kicking out at 2. Gargano connected with a suicide dive, and he ended up getting Corbin into the ring. Gargano ended up delivering a shoulder to Corbin. He ended up going for a slingshot, but Corbin ended up punching Gargano in the face. Gargano then ended up falling out to the floor. Corbin ended up going outside of the ring, and he ended up lifting Gargano up. Corbin ended up driving Gargano's spine into the ring post. Corbin then ended up getting Gargano back into the ring. Corbin then kneed Gargano in his midsection, and he whipped him into the corner. Corbin then ended up hitting the corner clothesline, and he was talking trash to the crowd. Corbin started punching Gargano in his face, and he ended up going for a suplex, but Gargano ended up punching Corbin to get out of being suplexed by Corbin. Corbin ended up knocking Gargano into the ropes, to which Gargano fought back. Gargano ended up drop kicking Corbin out of the ring. He got on the apron, and he ended up delivering a kick to Corbin. Gargano ended up diving off the apron. Corbin caught him, and Corbin then slammed Gargano onto the commentary table. And then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Corbin started punching away at Gargano. Corbin ended up putting Gargano in the torch rack, and he ended up hitting the neck breaker to Gargano. He ended up going for the cover, to which Gargano kicked out at 2. There was crowd chants of "You can't wrestle" to Corbin. So Gargano ended up knocking Corbin away. He ended up sending Corbin shoulder first into the ring post. there was a point where Gargano got on the commentary table and he looked at JBL. Gargano then put JBL's cowboy hat on and he started playing cowboy with it, started doing like, yeah, that was what Gargano was doing there. So Gargano then dived off the commentary table and he ended up hitting Corbin with the tornado DDT on the floor. Gargano ended up putting JBL's cowboy hat back on and he kicked Corbin. JBL ended up sweeping Gargano's feet, to which Corbin ended up hitting Gargano with the end of days and he ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Corbin ended up winning the match. Overall, this match was a snooze, in my opinion. This was a snooze of a match. And then we had Bianca Bellaire. Bianca Bellaire was being interviewed by Kathy Kelly. Bianca ended up telling Kathy Kelly that she's held the women's division down for a year. And this is bigger than anything. This is about payback. So Bianca ended up saying that tonight she's not stopping until Bayley is left with nothing, because Bayley ended up taking out Alexa Bliss and Asuka. So pretty much that was basically that. And then we saw Johnny Gargano. He was walking backstage. The Miz ended up walking up to him. Miz ended up handing Gargano a get well card for his wife, Candice LeRae. So Gargano ended up saying that Miz has to tell the truth about what happened with Dexter Lumis, and will make sure he does next week. So then Gargano opened up the card, and the card wasn't signed. It was unsigned. And so pretty much that was basically that. And then we had the main event, which was Bianca Belaire versus Bayley, which, like I said earlier in the video, Bayley ended up winning the match, defeating Bianca Belaire. Nikki ASH, which she is now being known again as Nikki Cross from what I saw online here. She is now referred back to Nikki Cross. She does not have the stupid, superhero gimmick anymore, which is great. And she is now a babyface because she ended up being down on Bayley. So we got Nikki Cross finally back, and not anymore in that superhero, almost a superhero gimmick. To which, thank God, that has gone. But anyways, that was Monday Night Raw tonight. Overall, this show was absolutely fucking terrible. It was boring. What more can I say? It didn't even feel like a Triple H booked Monday Night Raw. This felt like this show had Bruce Pritchard's fingerprints all over it. Terrible show. This was a filler Monday Night Raw, just to get to Crown Jewel. And next week is Halloween, so Monday Night Raw is going to be live, and it's going to be, of course, the go-home show for Crown Jewel. But overall, this show was terrible tonight. But anyways, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. If you guys haven't checked out my previous video, I did the movie hunting video where I went to a book off in the city, shot that on Friday, and uploaded it on Saturday. So definitely check out that video if you guys haven't seen it. And my next video will be my review of Black Adam, to which I saw that today. So there will be a review of that, which will be the next video. And there will be no Dynamite review on Wednesday. So no, I haven't reviewed Dynamite in weeks. Same for SmackDown. Just been very busy, with stuff going on, with work and such, going out with friends, having fun. that's going to be the next video, my movie review of Black Adam. So, till then, see you all later.